Hey, hi everybody, Allison Elliott here. I wanted to do a video this morning real early and because while I was in the shower, I got the kind of the download, the energetic download from the 3 days that I've spent in Miami with Brocco, the Gazing with Brocco event that I attended. Whew, boy, some of you probably have tapped into the blog post that I did about my experience of being in that energy. Of course, now that I'm home and I'm out of it and I'm, integrating all of that, there's a lot of things that are really starting to come to me. And one of the things that I'm noticing is that how the energy comes through the pictures, the videos, and how when I look at those, I am activated back to my experience of actually being in that field. So I want to talk a little about that field, actually, about the energy field that gets communicated through this living master. Some of you might be familiar with the word Shaktipat, which is something that is receivable through a guru. I received it back in the 80s through Muktananda, an East Indian guru. It's a transmission of energy from a realized being. And a realized being is somebody who basically has moved up above third, fourth, fifth dimensional level, up above the levels of where there's any distortion, which is above the seventh dimension, and holds that state of consciousness for an extended period of time. Now, in the process of doing that, they gain a tremendous field of energy around them. It's kind of like building a fire. You build a fire and you get a good roaring fire going, and all of a sudden a lot of people come around, to warm their hands, and, and it's real warm and hot next to that fire. And then somebody might decide they want to start their own fire. So they'll, get a stick and get a little spark of fire from the big fire and go over there and ignite their own pile of wood to start their own fire, get their own fire going. And pretty soon they've got a great big fire that people start coming around and start warming themselves on and all of that. And that's pretty much the essence of what's happening, as far as I can tell, with the Brocco, the gazing events, is that we go into those events where there is a 0-point field, and which is a field that's a clear field, a field clear of all distortion. It's where everything and nothing comes together at once. And if you're interested in finding out more about that, about 0-point energy field, check with any information from Greg Braden. He goes into quite a lot of detail on that and does a really good job of it too. But for the purposes of brevity, in this video, I'm just going to say, once you're in a 0-point field, you then start resonating or replicating your energy to match it. Now here's the deal. The degree to which you have any clogs in your energy field, any energy glitches, stuff, junk, distortions, all of that going on, is the degree to which you will not be able to fully replicate the energy. Now, so far, I don't know anybody that's fully replicated it, but there's varying degrees of replication of that energy by people who spend extended periods of time in it and receive that transmission. You see, if I go to give you something, if I go to hand you something, and you don't have your hand out ready to receive it, then it's just going to fall to the ground. There has to be something there to receive what is being given. So, energy clogs can look a lot like clogs in our sink. Like you have to get out the Drano and kind of flush it down. And then you have there's freedom of movement with what's being put in. So when your energy field is blocked, when the calibration of your frequency has not risen to the place where there's no longer any more distortion, then your ability to receive is not as great as after that calibration occurs. So when we go to people who work on the third dimension, or the fourth dimension, or even the fifth dimension, there's distortion that's included in there. And we may feel better after we go and have a, a palm reading, a tarot reading, a bit of an energy balance, or, whatever it is, we will feel some relief. However, here's what happens. Because all of that stuff has roots to it, energetic roots, it replicates itself over and over and over and over and over. And that was the plan of Satan's army, the dark forces, whatever you want to call it. That really is something that people are beginning to see now, the value in getting that distortion, in working beyond distorted fields, so that you're not replicating those negative energies over and over and over again. And you go to one person and get something done, and then pretty soon, you feel better for a while, and then you end up, I'm going to go back and see somebody else. I won't see them because they didn't get it all. Actually, they did for them, but it started building, and then you have that clog again, which is blocking the energy from the 0 point field. So if you and I didn't have any blocks to receiving, we would be known as ascended masters. We'd be living embodiments of masters on the planet, just like Jesus and Buddha and Mother Mary and Kuan Yin and all of those people that embodied physical form. The only difference between them, as Jesus said, this and greater things shall you do, was that they were able to get the clogs out somehow or another, and their energy frequency moved up. They were able to receive that divine light in and then replicate. They just kept replicating more and more and more of that spark. So by going into an energy field such as that of Bracco, what happened for me was anything unlike itself started coming up. So when I would hold eye contact, when he would gaze into my eyes, anything that was clogging my ability to be able to connect with my divine spark surfaced and then left. You don't necessarily have to know what that is, but that's why people are often drawn to tears. And for people who are ready and willing and able to let that go, what happens is, whatever the cross is that they've been bearing breaks up. That's why the crutches get thrown down. That's why people rise from wheelchairs and walk away. That's why tumors shrink, because they're no longer replicating in a distorted field. They're now replicating in a divine energy field. So that's what came to me this morning as, I was kind of going over the last 3 or 4 days in review. So I will keep you posted. Feel free to pass the video along, let people know, let me know if it's been of any help to you. And know that when you work with people who do energy clearing, the best thing to find out is what level are they working on to facilitate that process. If they're not working above the 7th dimension, then you're just going to keep replicating the same thing over and over and over again. And, as it has been said with the work that Bracco does, it's not teachable. And none of this is teachable. You have to come into your own. And when you come into your own in that non-distorted energy, when you reach that place, then you will ignite the spark of others who are wanting to build their fire. And it may start slowly, it will start slowly. But as you continue to go, you'll have a raging fire. Talk to you soon.